welcome to the DC Marvel Battlecast, where we discuss all things DC and Marvel related, and we debate who would win in versus battle matchups. I'm Johnny DC.
And I'm his twin brother, Marvelous Joe.
The song you heard at the beginning was Jump Around by the House of Pain from the album House of Pain, Fine Malt Lyrics, available on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you buy or stream music.
Fine Malt Lyrics is the subtitle for that, the eponymous.
It's a self-titled album.
Yeah, self-titled album.
Yeah.
So don't forget, guys, you can subscribe to us on iTunes or SoundCloud or YouTube. Just do a search for DC Marvel Battlecast. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at DC Marvel Battle. We couldn't put in cast at the end because there's too many characters. But yeah. So follow us on Twitter at DC Marvel Battle and get updated on all the latest Marvel and DC news.
Yeah, and reach out to us with any comments or suggestions for Battlecast. We actually have a Battlecast today going on. We're going to be doing Deadshot versus Bullseye.
Yep, and that's one of the reasons why we went with the House of Pain song, because it is a classic, and there are some lyrics about battling with shotguns. And
it was actually really hard to find a song for this Battlecast, I think. I was thinking, what was Bullseye intro song in the Daredevil, in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie? Because I know they were playing a song. It was the dart scene. And it was a House of Pain song.
Yeah, that one was Top of the Morning to you.
Yeah, and then that reminded you of the lyric in the Jump Around song. So it fits. It works.
I think it fits.
Yeah.
Yep. Deadshot versus Bullseye. I think that'll be a good fight. We'll be talking about that fight towards the end of the podcast. Before we do that, we have some news items to discuss. We'll be talking about the reports of Suicide Squad box office tracking numbers.
Yep.
We'll be talking about the new X-Men TV series that's coming to Fox. We'll be talking about the first official images of Wally West as Kid Flash in the Flash TV series. We'll be talking about the Wonder Woman images as well as the first official synopsis release for that film.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
That's about it.
That's it. Yeah. Again, another slow one, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
But our next Battlecast is officially not like last time.
Are you sure this time?
I'm sure this time.
Are you sure? Comic-Con
will be our Comic-Con news recap. So I'm thinking that one's going to be an all news episode. Hopefully, there's going to be a ton to talk about. So yeah.
And then the episode after that, of course, will be the Suicide Squad review. But
until then, speaking of Suicide Squad, they're tracking the ticket sales for Suicide Squad to have a higher opening than Guardians of the Galaxy. Actually, it's going to be the highest opening in August, period.
Allegedly.
Yeah. It's looking to open over 125 million. So that's awesome.
That is awesome. The question is, and you rubbed it in my face saying that would be a higher opening box office gross than Guardians of the Galaxy. But I'm wondering if Suicide Squad will make it to the about 775 million worldwide gross that Guardians of the Galaxy made.
That's a good question because it's a darker film.
Batman vs Superman barely made it over that, right? What did BVS end with?
800
something.
The high 800s. Yeah. 890 something?
I guess that's not barely making it over it, but do you think that Suicide Squad can even make as much as Batman vs Superman? Do you think it can make more than Batman vs Superman?
That's a good question.
Because I don't think it can.
I don't think it can. I don't know. The appeal of the Joker, for some reason, is it's a really attractive character to certain people. Honestly, I'm surprised Suicide Squad is even getting this much Twitter buzz, considering it's fully or mostly a cast of characters that a lot of people don't know about, except for the Joker, right?
Right, and Harley Quinn and maybe Deadshot.
I mean, I'm happy that it's doing this, but I'm also surprised in a way. Yeah. It's not going to open more than BVS, and I doubt it's actually going to reach BVS's numbers. But, I mean, neither did Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right, gun to your head, gun to your balls. How much will Suicide Squad make worldwide by the end of its theatrical run?
Guardians of the Galaxy made how much?
I think it was 774. Don't quote me on that. It was in the 770s.
See, I don't think this
770
has
million.
the same broad audience that Guardians of the Galaxy had. I think
It's a darker story.
Yeah, it's a darker story, darker tone. Little kids went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if little kids are gonna go see Suicide Squad. I mean, even given the title, Suicide Squad, I mean, what parent is gonna take their kid to see it? I don't think it's gonna make as much as Guardians of the Galaxy. But I mean, how much did Deadpool make?
Deadpool made more, I believe.
Wait, did Deadpool make $1 billion?
No, it did not. Let me check that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right that it made more than Guardians. It made more than BVS. Or did it? Gosh, I forget.
We should know our
know,
box office numbers. All right, so Deadpool made 782 million worldwide. So it did about the same as Guardians, just a little bit better.
That's interesting. Okay. So if that can make more money than Guardians, and that's definitely not a kid's movie. I can't answer that question. Gun to my head, gun to my
gun your balls. You want to lose your balls on your head?
I'm going to say it's not going to do it. But it's going to get really close, I think.
I need a number. We're playing high-low here.
Geez.
All right, high-low. 700 million. High or low? Higher or lower?
Higher. Definitely higher.
Think it'll make over 700 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, if Deadpool could do it and Guardians could do it, this is sort of like the middle of the road of those two. I think it could do it.
But you don't think
especially with the Joker.
But you don't think it'll get quite as high as either of those? So like around 725 or 750.
It has to have like really, really good word of mouth. And you don't really get better word of mouth than Deadpool. So
You're not answering. You're dodging the question.
I don't know. It's not going to make as much as Guardians. It's going to make over 107 million.
Okay, so 730.
All you said was higher than 700 million. I said yes.
I think it'll get lower than 700 million.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I think it'll end at around like 640.
Why so low?
To 670.
I mean, even that would be a success, but why so low?
That's just my instinct. It's my gut instinct. It's my psychic instinct.
All right.
I'm usually pretty good at that stuff.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. I have a box office fantasy league going with some of my friends, and guess who's winning right now? This guy.
Really?
Yeah. So that probably won't last though. All right. So I think sure it'll have a good opening. It's coming out in the beginning of August. School will start for many kids that same week. Or the following week.
Like the week after. Yeah. It'll be the last movie they see before school.
Yeah, that'll definitely hurt it. Yeah, I'm guessing it doesn't even matter if it has a better opening than Guardians because it's not going to reach Guardians numbers. I'm fairly certain.
Well, I mean, Guardians opened at the same time, so you can't use the school thing because kids still went to go see it. And with Deadpool and with BVS.
That's true.
That's really not an excuse anymore. Somehow, for some reason. I don't know why.
Kids don't go to school anymore.
I guess that must be it.
Oh, yeah. They're all out playing Pokemon Go. Like, I loved Pokemon when I was a little kid. And, these 10-year-old kids who don't have jobs, are out getting, like, level 1,400 Charizards.
Oh, gosh.
There's a 1,400 Charizard guarding the Mile High Stadium where the Broncos play.
On Sports Authority.
Yeah, and I'm like, how am I supposed to become a Pokemon master since I dreamed when I was a kid when these 10-year-old kids with no job have level 1,400 Charizards and I only have my level, 300 Charmander, if that.
I haven't been paying attention to the box office. I wonder, did Pokemon Go hurt the box office?
That's a good question.
Because I know, even Ghostbusters didn't open at number 1.
No, opened at number 3.
Number 3? Really?
Yeah.
Well,
No. Number 2. Sorry, Secret Life of Pets, Ghostbusters, then Tarzan. So, anyway,
off of Pokemon, off of everything else.
Sorry, I've been playing it a lot.
Suicide Squad, yeah, me too.
All right. I think that's it for that story, though. I mean, in all, basically, the story is Suicide Squad to not do as well as Guardians of the Galaxy. The end.
Maybe.
All right. So, next on the docket, there's a new X-Men TV series, apparently, that's coming to Fox, I think it is.
Can I just say one more thing about Suicide Squad?
No.
Sorry. I'm surprised it is tracking this well, and we still know really nothing about it. Or I want to say nothing. Like, we don't know who the main bad guy is. Sort of. Like, there were, like, news stories that it's, like, the adversary and Enchantress is somehow tied into with him. There's rumors, but, like, nothing that's been, like, officially stated that I've read. And I feel like with Guardians of the Galaxy at the same time, like, we knew who the villain was. We knew, like, you know, from the trailers, we knew, like, the gist of the story.
All right, so what do you think the appeal is for Suicide Squad? Why do you think people are so excited to see it if they don't know what it's about?
I think it's just, like, the tone of it. Just sort of, like, the anarchy and, like, I don't know. What is it? What do you think?
I think they're just really promoting it as a really fun piece of work. Like, just a fun movie that is in the superhero genre, which is super popular right now. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're really playing up the... Like, if I hear the line, "Don't forget, we're the bad guys." If I hear that one more time, I'm going to snap.
Joseph, don't forget. Don't forget.
Throw my water in your face.
You already forget? Don't forget.
I forgot. So, yeah, I think they're just pushing it at a different angle that looks interesting, and I don't know.
It just seemed very new.
It seems very, novel. So, anyway...
Okay, sorry. Yeah, just want to say that.
So, there's a new X-Men series coming to Fox. It sounds like they have scrapped the whole Hellfire Club show.
Yeah.
So, they're going for a different take on the X-Men universe. It's basically about these parents who have a mutant kid and how they're trying to, like, hide from the government or something like that. I think the official quote is from this was first reported in, I can't remember. I think it was a press release, but they say the Untitled series will focus on two ordinary parents who discover their children possess mutant powers. Oh, it's multiple children. They're forced to go on the run from a hostile government. The family joins up with an underground network of mutants and must fight to survive. I'm assuming the underground network of mutants are the Morlocks. I'm assuming. I'm not sure.
Oh, I said Murloc. Morlocks.
Morlocks.
I've been playing too much Hearthstone.
So Morlocks. Does that sound more or less interesting to you than the Hellfire Club series would have been?
I
think it sounds vaguely less interesting. I'd rather see a series about the Hellfire Club than, because that has women in lingerie and stuff and has just interesting dynamics than kind of like this weird kind of survival story with Morlocks. I don't know. That doesn't seem as interesting.
I didn't hear the synopsis earlier. I didn't read it earlier. This is the first time I'm hearing it. It doesn't sound that appealing. It's like a family drama. Is that what this is?
No, I don't
hate
know.
those. Those suck.
I don't know. It has a really good team behind it.
Bryan Singer's behind it. Yeah. That's like the most intriguing thing.
Yeah, Bryan Singer's behind it.
Does that mean that this is in continuity?
And so are the other X-Men movie producers.
Right.
Like Lauren Schuler Donner and Simon Kinberg. Jeff Loeb is helping to produce it.
And he's the Marvel TV
Which
guy.
is surprising because Fox doesn't technically have the television rights to the X-Men. So any X-Men TV show that they have to make, they have to do in cooperation with Marvel. So if this is being produced by the same teams that are, producing Daredevil and Jessica Jones and the other Netflix shows, it might actually end up pretty good. But the big news with this is that the guy from Burn Notice, he's a writer on the TV show Burn Notice. His name is Matt Nix. He will be penning these scripts. Uh-huh. So, I don't know.
Does anyone watch Burn Notice? Wasn't it like an Aziz Ansari's like sketch or comedy bit where he was like, "You ever watch Burn Notice?" No. No one does. But like his nephew does. He was like, "Yeah." His senior quote was "TNT knows drama," something like that. Yeah.
I've heard it was a really good show, but yeah, I've never seen Burn Notice. I think it's on USA or something.
I don't know.
But I've heard good things about the show. It's one of those shows that people tell me I should watch, mainly because I'm into spy stuff like James Bond and stuff. But
I've never received a recommendation for Burn Notice.
No. Well, it's apparently pretty good. So, who knows? This might actually end up being pretty good. Still kind of bummed about Hellfire. But maybe it was crap and that's why they scrapped it.
Do you think this is going to be in continuity with the movies?
They've already stated the showrunner for Legion has already stated that Legion will not be a part of any sort of larger universe.
Right.
Like, it's not going to be part of the X-Men cinematic universe.
But what about this new X-Men series?
This one, they have not stated.
That you can't say, like, it's an X-Men series and not... I hate these TV shows that, like...
Oh, you mean like Flash? And like Green Arrow?
What are you talking about?
Where they're like not part of the larger cinematic universe? Is that what you're going to say?
No. That don't use, like, characters from the comics. Or, like, heroes from the comics. Flash and Arrow have characters from the comics at the wazoo, which is really, like, a huge appeal.
Well, how many TV shows can you reference that don't have characters from the comics?
Well, I was thinking of the upcoming, like,
Powerless?
DC, like, Powerless, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has characters from the comics.
But, like, not big names.
They have Deathlock. I kept wanting to say Deathstroke. I don't know why. They have Deathlock in there. They have some Inhumans characters in there.
Oh, so you mean characters that no one cares about?
They had Nick Fury did a guest spot. They have lots of characters. They have some Asgardians.
One of the biggest, like, complaints I hear about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because I don't watch the show, is the lack of ties to, like, the Marvel Universe and the comics characters.
There's plenty of ties. There's very few appearances.
Yeah, and that's
super
annoying.
They're a secret, they're a secret covert agency. You can't
Again, it's like the old Birds of Prey show that, like, only had Batman in the pilot and, like, never showed him or referenced him again. Well, referenced him, but you can't do that. You can't have an X-Men series, like television series, and not have characters like... Throw me Colossus from Deadpool. Come on.
They'll probably have Calypso if they're meeting up with the Morlocks.
But what about, like, good X-Men characters that I care about?
It's not an X-Men team show. It's a show about...
And that's why I already don't care about it.
Well, we'll see how it ends up. Yeah. It might be good. It might be utter crap.
See, at least with Hellfire, you could have had... you definitely had Emma Frost in that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have
Sebastian
had... Sebastian Stan, but...
No, not Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Stan is the actor that played Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's right. Now, who was I thinking of? Jean Grey?
Oh, Madeline Pryor?
Yeah, Madeline Pryor. Madeline Pryor, yeah.
She's the black
Why not? That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been hot. Stupid fox! You had gold in your hands, and you threw it away. All right, we'll see. Anyway, that's it for that news.
Well, it's interesting that Fox is going to have both a DC and a Marvel show on its network.
Yeah, that's interesting. Gotham?
Yeah.
I don't see Gotham staying around too much longer, honestly.
Why?
Just because I hear a lot of bad things about it.
No, I only hear good things now. Surprisingly. I'm still not watching it because, I don't know, I don't want to get through the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of TV shows...
Yeah, so the first official images of Kanan, I think it's Kanan Lonsdale's Wally West character from the Flash TV series, have him suited up as Kid Flash. So they released an official image like the day before a whole bunch of like set photos were leaked. Mm-hmm. And the first official image was pretty cool looking. It's exactly what you expected it to be if you watch the show. It's sort of like that leather kind of looking.
It looks straight out of the comics.
Yeah, suit. I mean, yeah, and it even has like the top of the mask like exposed and like cut into a V, and it's yellow at the top, red at the bottom. It's straight from the comics, and perfectly. I think it suits Wally West's show suit perfectly. So I was really happy with it.
Speaking of the costumes, I have a quick question. Last podcast we discussed how we theorized that in the Justice League movie, The Flash, played by Ezra Miller, his Barry Allen, his suit will be tech-based, and the Speed Force is actually something that powers the suit, as opposed to just, like, being a magical thing.
Well, we don't know if it powers it, but, yeah.
That's what we have, like, it was some kind of, like, lightning force that powers the suit.
Well, they definitely talked about, like, how...
It protects him while he runs.
Like, there was, like, wire holding the ceramic pieces together, and that, like...
They made from, like, space shuttle pieces.
Yeah, and that there would be, like, a visible current running through the wire as he was like.
And that was the Speed Force. So in the Flash TV show,
Yeah.
how does he get his suit on? How does it manifest? Is it made out of Speed Force?
No, it's just a suit that the people at Star Labs made him.
And he puts it on really. He gets like dressed really quick.
Yeah. It's like in the Superman TV shows, he just like speeds forward and he's wearing a suit. They did make a call out to the Ring, because they have the character of Reverse Flash in season 1, and he's from the future, and so he's able to keep his suit stored in a compact ring, but they don't have that on the show.
So it's like future tech.
Yeah, it's future tech.
Interesting.
But not for the Flash. It was just for Reverse Flash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
So I imagine, do you know the character Vibe?
Yes.
So in the TV show, Cisco Ramon, he's a scientist who works at Star Labs, and he's the one who made the Flash's suit. And I imagine he's going to be the one to also have made Kid Flash's.
Does he have vibration powers in the show?
Yeah, he's learning them. He's developing them. But it's more... Because, like, in the New 52, Cisco Ramon got his powers from a boom tube. Like, it's sort of like how Cyborg was sort of, like, caught in the middle of a boom tube and it exploded his body. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen to Cisco Ramon. Like, but he did get, like, interdimensionary powers. So he could go between dimensions and, like, different stuff like that. So they really play up that aspect in the show. He does have, like, vibrational powers, but he's still learning to use them.
I wonder if we should do a battle cast where it's Vibe versus Quake.
Who the heck is like, Quake?
You know who Quake is?
No.
She first showed up in the Secret War comic.
Wait, she's on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
She's on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Okay.
Agent Daisy Johnson, played by, what's her face?
She just has vibration powers?
Chloe Bennett, I think.
Huh? She just has vibration powers?
Yeah, she shoots like shockwaves and stuff. But she has like surgical control of them. Like she could explode your heart in your chest. at least in the comic books and in the show, she's still developing them.
You want to do a battle cast between TV characters?
I don't know. Maybe it's an idea. We'll think about it.
You know what was interesting?
What?
Just like totally off subject, but in the Arrow TV show, the bad guys of this past season were like a terrorist kind of like underground group called Hive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I heard that like there was a group called Hive that were the bad guys for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, it's not a group. It's a character. His name is Hive.
Okay, well, never mind. I thought they were both like...
So basically Arrow was ripping off...
What? No.
Marvel.
This is... No.
Okay.
No, Hive is a thing in the comics.
Well, same with Marvel.
Well, DC's better. Anyway, back to the Flash news. So yeah, they released the photo of the character of Wally West in the Kid Flash suit, which was awesome. Totally what we expected to see, or what I expected to see. Mm-hmm. But it still like made me really happy. The next day, those leaked photos that came out showed Kanan suited up as Kid Flash, like running around and stuff. Like Barry Allen like finds him in a dumpster or something like that. I don't know. But there was also another like speedster there. He was wearing a black costume. And I guess it's like some actor from what is it, Vampire Diaries or Spartacus or something like that. We don't know like what character he is, but the costume is like seems like to be like an amalgamation of like a few different characters in the DC universe. So it's he's probably going to be like that because for some reason a speedster has to be like the primary antagonist for every Flash season. I mean, I'm not complaining because Flash has been great so far, but when I saw this, I was like, really, another speedster villain for the third season?
Why does the Flash have so many villains with the same power as him? Like, what's the difference between Reverse Flash and Zoom and Professor Zoom?
Well, they don't really have Professor Zoom.
What's the difference between Reverse Flash and Zoom?
Are you talking about in the TV show or in the comics?
In general. Both. Just, no... And don't give me the answer. It's different people under the mask.
It is different people under the mask.
That's not in terms I'm talking about in terms of practicality.
Oh, because like one dies, and then because like the Flash has always been like a legacy character. So when Barry was dead and Professor Zoom died, and Wally West took up the mantle in the comics, he needed his own Professor Zoom. So that instead of doing Reverse Flash or Professor Zoom or whatever, they just made it straight Zoom.
So basically, they're the same character.
No, actually, they're pretty different.
What about in the TV show? What was the difference between Reverse Flash and Zoom?
So in the TV show, Reverse Flash was from the future. He was like Barry Allen's villain from the future. He's the one who essentially created the Flash because he traveled from the future to kill the parents of his enemy, and sort of like yeah.
So a paradox.
In a way, yeah. But in season 2, Zoom was from Earth 2, which really should be Earth 3, because in the comics that's like the evil world. In the TV show though, like that's Earth 2. So he was another speedster who was traveling through dimensions, just absorbing as much speed force as he could to be like the fastest person anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I have no idea who this third speedster is. And that's the whole what news item here is like, who is this guy? Now there's like 3 theories running out there.
He's basically wearing a black Flash costume.
Well, I mean, that's what Zoom's costume was as well. It was just all black.
I thought Zoom in the comics wore a yellow costume.
Yes. Okay. But
okay, I'm sorry. Go on. Dumb. All right.
So in the TV show, Zoom wore a full black costume. It looks a lot like the Reverse Flash New 52 costume in a way, sort of.
Okay.
Anyway, but so does this new one in these leaked set photos. So people are speculating it's either like the Reverse Flash character that's in the new 52 version, where in this Reverse Flash wasn't Eobard Thawne. It was I
know some of those words. Who?
Eobard Thawne is the name of Professor Zoom, or the Reverse Flash from like.
I thought his last name was Zoom.
No, you're thinking Hunter Zolomon, Wally West's Zoom.
God, the Flash villains are stupid. At least outside of like Mirror Master and the Trickster and Boomerang and Captain Boomerang. Anyway, I don't like his speedster villains.
Where was I? Okay, so yeah, they're thinking he's the new 52 version of the Reverse Flash, which is actually I think it's a relative of his wife Iris. Anyway, but like he's like super fast and he like shoots out metal shrapnel. So there's that. But then there's also he could be Black Flash, which is essentially like
I thought Kanan Lonsdale was Black Flash.
That is racist.
What?
He's Kid Flash.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know, that's like Black Manta or like Black Bolt. Yeah. It's like the character's black, so you just put black in front of them.
Black Bolt's not black.
Not Black Bolt. Black Lightning. That's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Black Widow's not black.
No. Anyway. So, yeah. Black Flash is essentially just like this Grim Reaper of the Speed Force type character. But then there's like another Grim Reaper character that could be, and that would be Black Racer, who actually is black. Or was. Which is like death itself. And that's actually an interesting character because...
Man, all these characters are the same.
No, they're not.
2 Grim Reaper characters, Black Racer and Black Flash?
Okay, so Black Flash is like the Grim Reaper of speedsters. But Black Racer is like... death itself. Is like the Grim Reaper of everybody.
Isn't he part of Apocalypse or something?
Yeah, he's part of the whole New Gods sort of mythos. Like, I forget what the exact story is, but it's like... Darkseid captured like death itself and then like put it into a host, and that became the Black Racer. But like and even like Barry Allen Flash and like the recent Darkseid War in the comics, he became the Black Racer because the Black Racer died, or the host of the Black Racer died. So then the Black Racer went inside of Barry Allen, and the Flash became the new Grim Reaper. Essentially, he became like the god of death. But anyway, I think that is the most interesting interesting angle for this mysterious character to take would be, and actually, honestly,
to make him death itself.
It might be like a mixture of the two, like sort of Grim Reaper Flash characters, Black Flash and Black Racer.
Why do the speedsters need their own Grim Reaper?
I don't know. I don't even know who the Black Flash was.
DC.
I was doing research on this and I was like, what? Black Flash? All right. But no, I think if it's Black Racer, that would be super interesting, because how do you fight like death itself?
You have to outrun it.
Plus, it's really an entity that could like possess other entities and turn them into like the Grim Reaper. So I think that's an interesting angle that they could take. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm hoping that's what it is.
Cool. I think you lost everybody listening to this with
unless they watched the Flash show.
All that explanation.
Maybe. And even if they did watch the Flash show, they'd still be like confused. Yeah, it's difficult to explain.
Okay. Let's get on to movie news.
All right.
Again. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, we haven't done much reporting on it, but it is...
No, yeah, I feel like this is like the first like big news of it.
Yeah. Aside from casting and, again, casting announcements and things like that, we kind of get our first look at the new team roster through some conceptual art that was released. Uh-huh. And it's a pretty sweet photo. So in addition to Drax the Destroyer and Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon and Gamora and Groot, who's Baby Groot now.
You think he would have grown like by this time?
No, not necessarily. It depends on how long this story takes place after the first movie.
True.
So Yondu, it looks like,
they haven't been watering him apparently. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Yondu is a member of the team now. It looks like, at least he's shown in the concept art.
Is he Shi'ar?
Yondu?
Yeah.
No, he's not Shi'ar. I forget the name of his race, but they all have like red mohawks and blue skin and are like archers.
It's what's his name? The Superman knockoff.
What?
He's a member of the blue skin guy with the black mohawk who's like Superman. Go.
Gladiator?
Yes. Gladiator.
No. Gladiator.
They're the same race, right?
No, they're not.
Oh.
Gladiator's skin is not blue.
What?
Gladiator's skin is like a purplish gray.
I guess.
But yeah, he's the leader of the Imperial Guard. You are totally confusing things.
I guess so.
Yondu is looks like he's he's one of the members of the team. The comic book character Yondu is one of the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, really?
So it would make sense that he's part of this team.
That whistle weapon he had in the first movie was crazy.
It's pretty cool, and it looks like from this concept art he can fly with it, because he's like flying through the air, but he's holding onto the arrow thing. So maybe he can fly by whistling and holding onto his arrow.
It's like Mjolnir.
Yeah, kind of, just more whistling.
Yeah. He'll just be whistling the whole time.
Both Rocket Raccoon and Peter Quill, Star-Lord, they're both wearing jetpacks, probably by Rocket's design.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're kind of flying too. We see Gamora.
Well, he had a jetpack in the first movie.
No, he didn't have He didn't have like a backpack jetpack, which is what this is. He had like attachments to his the sides of his legs that would allow him to kind of like, they were more like rocket boost ankle propulsion things. But this is kind of more like a Rocketeer type looking thing.
True.
And so Gamora's there. She has her sword.
She didn't have a sword in the first movie, did she?
Yes, she did.
I totally don't remember that.
She chopped off Groot's arm with a sword.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mantis is in the photo.
Mm-hmm. Which to me is like the most interesting thing in this concept art.
Yes. Yeah. I'm wondering what the story is going to, how it's going to incorporate her.
Because I remember you had the comics that had featured her like pretty prominently. It was like the Galaxy Quest.
What?
No, Celestial Quest.
Yeah. The only comic that I've ever had with, my only familiarity with the character of Mantis was from a mini-series of comics called The Avengers Celestial Quest. That's my primary knowledge of her. I don't have too much knowledge of her, but in that comic, she was green. She had green skin.
Yeah.
So it kind of surprised me here when she had not green skin. My first thought was that they did that because Gamora's skin is already
has green skin. Yeah.
green, but it turns out that the original incarnation of the character in the Avengers comics, Mantis had normal or not normal.
What do you want to say?
Like it was
Caucasian?
Caucasian looking, like light skin. But she's actually Asian. She grew up Vietnamese, so she's not white. She's Vietnamese. So that light color skin tone.
Oh my
I don't know the
gosh.
name of it.
Oh
Shut
my
up.
gosh. You're on a roll here.
I know, I suck. Yeah. So she has light colored skin, not green colored skin.
Yeah,
but
she's like a Madonna character, right? There's like a
what? Yeah, she's like the celestial Madonna
not like
in the comics.
Madonna the singer.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Dazzler or something.
No.
In the comics, Mantis is the celestial Madonna, which means that she's giving birth to the celestial Messiah, who is supposed to like save the universe. I don't think that's played out yet. Because I remember
in that comic, didn't she get down with Vision?
Yeah.
Does that mean he's the father?
No, the father of the celestial Messiah is Swordsman, but not really. Like Swordsman, it's so complicated. Mantis is such a complicated character. I remember in that story. Okay, so she fell in love with Swordsman when Mantis was part of the Avengers. She fell in love with Swordsman. Swordsman being the guy who trained Hawkeye.
Right.
But then Swordsman died, but she protects this like plant race of they're like plant telepaths called the Kotati or something like that. Don't judge my pronunciation of that because I can't really remember. But anyway, they're plant telepaths.
Part of that race?
So no, Groot is not part of that race. But she has God, this is so fucking complicated.
As complicated as the Flash.
Okay.
They are ragging me on.
So they could kind of like shapeshift. They kind of like took on the form of Swordsman, and then so she basically mated with the Kotati are kind of like a hive mind, and so they kind of like gave birth to like this half plant, half human kind of person who is the celestial Messiah. Although he hasn't really done anything as far as I know of yet. Oh,
he's still around?
I guess.
I
don't know if he's still around after the new Secret Wars.
What if they make Groot? Because wouldn't that be like way complicated to include in the movie? You already have a plant-based kind of character.
Yeah, and so her powers are she has telepathy, and she has plant controlling powers. I don't know what that's called, chloropathy or something like that.
Something like Poison Ivy.
Yeah, like Poison Ivy. She's a super expert martial artist.
Aren't they all?
Yeah. And what else? There was something else. Oh, she can like project this astral form. Like her body's kind of temporary. She can like project her astral form to like another planet, and then like she can use the plant life there to create herself a new body. Which is how I think she turned green, maybe. Because she has like a plant body-ish kind of. She's notable for having like these two antennae.
Yeah.
And she's been romantically linked with Vision and Silver Surfer as well as Swordsman. I think that's everything I know about her.
This seems like they're totally going to tie her into Groot.
They might. Like she would have the ability to like help him grow or something.
Which, by the way, if Gamora could chop off Groot's arm and he could grow it back, why can't he grow big?
Well, that was just a twig that Rocket found and planted, you know.
True.
And again, we don't know how long after the first movie this new movie takes place.
There's probably like 50 billion Groots now because all the twigs that scattered everywhere.
I have no idea. One last interesting thing about this piece of concept art, though, is that Nebula is in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is interesting. I don't know if Nebula's gonna be part of the new team.
What if she's like a spy?
I doubt it.
Like
She's
a double agent.
Maybe. She's such a good bad guy, though, at least in the first one. And in the comics, she's not all the way bad, yeah. But, I mean, she's
a sympathetic character.
She's a sympathetic character.
Hangs around Thanos.
She's evil, but she's always been treated poorly by her uncle, and I don't know. I guess in this case it's her dad in the movie. Yeah. But in the comics it's her uncle.
Thanos,
yes. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I think Nebula was just included here because maybe they kind of joined forces against some other threat or something like that. Or like their goals align with hers at some point, but I don't think she's a full-fledged member of the team.
You think aren't her goals Thanos' goals?
No, she hates Thanos.
But she works for him.
Yeah, unwillingly.
Yeah,
Nebula hates Thanos. So that's pretty much that. I'm really looking forward to the movie. After seeing this, it's always nice to get those first glimpses of concept art that Marvel will usually put out.
Yeah. Do you know who's playing Mantis?
Yeah. No, I don't know her name offhand.
Do you know what she's been in? Do I know her?
I can look it up real quick. She is an Asian actress. Let me see. Fill the dead air, quick.
Fill the dead. Okay. All
right. See, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, 2017. Mantis. Let's see.
I just want to know if I know her. Like if she's like a no-name actress, I'm like, all right, But if it's like Lucy Liu,
she's not like on the first page of the cast lists. No, like I gotta go into the full cast list.
Holy crap!
Let me see. Mantis. There we go. Pom Clementif.
That rings no bells.
Oh, she's not actress. I mean, she's an actress. She's not an Asian actress.
Oh gosh.
I thought she was an Asian actress.
Why did you assume that?
Well, because Mantis is Vietnamese, and I thought I saw a photo of her where I thought maybe that might have been my preconceived notions of what the character should look like, kind of projecting onto this actress. But she has not really been in anything that I've seen. She was in Old Boy, actually.
Which one?
The Spike Lee one.
Oh, the terrible one.
I never saw it. I only saw the old one.
Huh.
Let's see who she played.
Okay,
she played Hang Bak. Maybe she is Asian?
I think the listeners stopped caring.
She's
I can
this
look
lady.
it up later.
This lady. Do you recognize her?
Oh yeah, I do.
Is she Asian?
Sort of.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell.
And it's also not important.
Drop my computer.
It's also not important, but
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so
it would be cool if it was a Vietnamese actress playing a Vietnamese character.
She was playing the henchman of the villain in the Old Boy remake, which was terrible. Don't see it. If you want to see Old Boy, see the original Korean version.
All right, that's it for that news.
Anyway, yeah. Okay.
Man, I feel like we start off strong with each new news item, and then like towards the end, like people are just like, I don't care.
It's too complicated.
Everything's complicated. Okay.
All right, so now on to some like digestible news. The first official synopsis of Wonder Woman is released, along with a bunch of like Wonder Woman photos and stuff. We actually learned quite a bit about Wonder Woman recently. Mm-hmm. So the synopsis reads as such: Wonder Woman hits movie theaters around the world next summer when Gal Gadot. I'm hearing different people.
It's Gal Gadot. She says Gadot.
True. I think she didn't know how to pronounce it. I think she was given that name, and I don't know. Anyway,
she would know how to pronounce her own name.
I guess it's spelled Gadot. Anyway, okay. So Gal Gadot returns as the title character in the epic action adventure from director Patty Jenkins. Before she was Wonder Woman, she was Diana, princess of the Amazons, trained to be an unconquerable warrior. Raised on a sheltered island paradise when an American pilot crashes on the shores, tells of a massive conflict raging in the outside world.
That's Diana kind of an leaves.
Yeah, it is. Diana leaves her home, convinced she can stop the threat. Fighting alongside man in a war to end all wars, Diana will discover her full powers and her true destiny. That's the synopsis.
So the war being World War I.
Yeah,
correct.
Because I think they just didn't want to do World War II because of Captain America.
But that is when the character first came out.
World War II. Before World War II. Yeah.
Well, did she have any World War I connection in the comics?
Not that I know of, honestly.
Yeah, they probably just did it because of Captain America.
That's my feeling. Plus, it was like the first World War. So I actually think that synopsis is going to change because like the BVS synopsis, like the initial one they released, wasn't the one that it was they updated it later on as we got closer to the film's release date. So I think like because this is like really vague, like it doesn't really say anything other than what you're seeing is going to be an origin story. So I think they're going to go release another one that kind of delves more into the plot of what the film is. That's my guess.
Oh, well.
Yeah. As for the photos that they released, like there's 4 of them. There's one of her like sort of like crossing her arms, in
Like classic,
like the classic
block
mode with her bracelets, which honestly is like my least favorite of them.
the lighting is weird on it.
The lighting is terrible. It's like it's just too much. You could tell that like the abs were like airbrushed
and
on
the boobs
and stuff
were
like
airbrushed,
that.
and the forearm muscles were airbrushed on everything.
Yeah.
It's horrible lighting.
It's the kind of the worst kind of lighting you want to have with that costume.
She looks good though.
She does look good. She always looks good. But then there's also a photo of her with Chris Pine's Steve Trevor, which is still interesting to me because like America wasn't involved in World War I, so why is an American pilot involved? I don't know. Interesting.
Were they not involved in World War One?
No, World War I was all Europe.
I thought they had some involvement. All right, let's see. Blah blah blah. Now up until just before U.S. declared war. Blah blah. Neutral. The U.S. had desperately tried to stay neutral, but ties to Britain, propaganda, and the sinking of ships by German U-boats, and a German attempt in the Zimmermann notes to get Mexico to declare war on the U.S. pushed the U.S. to getting involved. So America was involved in World War One.
I don't know anything. As once proven again. Okay, so I guess we did. I guess that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the photo that they show like in Batman v Superman of her with like all her pals and like Steve Trevor's in there. There's also an American Indian in there. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was
that's right.
interesting. Yeah. Okay, so America was involved in World War One. Sorry to all the history buffs who are like smacking your forehead in frustration. So there's that photo, and then there's also a photo with her drawing her sword, which actually is my favorite photo. I love that like the coloring is very. It's very like bright and colorful
Compared to
BVS,
the muted tones of BVS.
Right,
yeah.
right. Like the red, it looks really red, and her skirt for like the first time looks
Really
like,
blue.
really blue,
As opposed to like a grayish,
dark navy kind of gray. Yeah, so that's cool. And then there's just a behind the scenes photo of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman with director Patty Jenkins, just receiving some direction.
What do you think of Patty Jenkins? I never saw Monster or anything. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Apparently, she is good for this though because maybe she got the job because she was in consideration for Thor. But the fact that she was in consideration for Thor and actually hired, I guess, and then later fired or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Makes me think that she has the right sensibilities for this.
I was reading an article about like after her success with Monster, they like asked her, well, what are you gonna do next? And she was like, I want to do a Wonder Woman movie. And I think that's actually kind of what sort of got her interested or in Thor in a way. But the fact that she's actually able to do this and like making the movie that she's always wanted to make,
Like a dream project.
Yeah,
it better come out good then.
Yeah, it better. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the synopsis confirms that it's sort of like a prequel to everything that's come before in regards to DC films. So before Man of Steel. So that'll be interesting. It's Suicide Squad comes after we get Wonder Woman. This comes before everything else. So it's kind of like a nice they're further establishing their universe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it seems like very much a more of a coming of age story than any other superhero movie.
It seems very because like
someone who really grows up in the process because they keep referring to how naive she is at the beginning.
Yeah,
and how she kind of develops into this warrior woman.
I feel like everything that's come from DC since like Batman Begins has always like tried to be like a non-traditional take on the superhero genre in a way. Like that's what they were attempting. But this one seems very like on the nose, like a straight up like origin story.
That's good. I like origin stories.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like the Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man film. I think that was like a straight up origin story, and I liked that one. I think this one will be good.
Yeah,
Specifically with all like the Marvel movies too, with like Iron Man and Captain America, their first movies. Again,
see now Marvel's take on origin stories is they try to adapt them into different genres.
Yeah,
like Ant-Man was the heist movie.
Right, Captain America is like a spy movie, kind of. Well, at least Winter Soldier.
Well, that wasn't an origin story.
Or
the first Captain America was very much like a
war film,
kind of diesel punk, kind of traditional, in the spirit of the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons, kind of genre take, kind of almost fantasy based, really. I think that this is going to be in that same vein, but it's not like Captain America wasn't necessarily coming of age, like this one will be.
I've said it before, and I still think that it's going to be like an amalgamation of Captain America and Thor.
So a ripoff.
Amalgamation.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Wonder Woman herself is like, if you consider Captain America to be like Marvel's Batman and Thor to be Marvel's Superman, then it's sort of fitting because Wonder Woman herself is sort of a mixture of those two characters. She has like more advanced tech than Batman, and she's just as strong as Superman. So
nice.
I think it's fitting.
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
All right, I think that does it for all of the news.
Yep.
All right, so now we're going.
Oh, one interesting thing. Sorry. They also released that Ellen Heinberg and Jeff Johns were the writers.
Oh yes.
I have no idea who Ellen Heinberg is.
I have no idea, honestly.
But the story is by Zack Snyder, which I thought was really interesting.
Is that good or bad? I think Jeff Johns could take a story, and he has enough talent to make it. Like he could take like the crappiest Wonder Woman story. Like if I told you, oh, it's a story about Wonder Woman in the fast food industry or something like that. Jeff Johns could take that and make it so that it was actually true to the spirit of the character of Wonder Woman. So even if Zack Snyder gave him a shit concept for a story, I think Jeff Johns can make it very much true to the character.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't get more like on the nose DC characterization than when it comes from Jeff Johns.
Yeah, because he really knows those characters.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking up who Ellen Heinberg was real quick. It looks like so he's done a lot of TV work. He's written for shows like The OC, Gilmore Girls. But he's also done comics work, which is really cool. He's actually written JLA comics with Jeff Johns.
Really?
So that's super promising.
So JLA comics and Gilmore Girls episodes. That sounds like Wonder Woman. Perfect.
Well, he's also done Young Avengers for Marvel, it looks like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So a comic writer working with Jeff Johns. Yeah. Good.
Should be good.
All good things.
All right. Let's get into the Battlecast then. We're getting so it'll be Deadshot versus Bullseye, and for those who aren't aware, we kind of set it up kind of like the Deadliest Warrior TV show that was on Spike TV a few years ago, where they input a lot of data from their weapons and stats and everything. And in our case, we get our stats from the official Marvel Power Rankings grid, and then use those to extrapolate the DC stats.
Right.
So once we have those, we use the Monte Carlo method, just like Deadliest Warrior, to simulate 1,000 matches, and then see who will come out the victor. So let's go ahead and learn about Deadshot and Bullseye and see who would win in a fight.
Yep.
It's time for a battle cast. Marvel versus DC. Let's begin.
Okay, well, I'm excited for this episode because it's the first time that we've done two villains face to face.
Yeah, I thought it was suitable considering that we have the Suicide Squad movie coming up. I wanted to know more about Deadshot because I didn't really know too much about him earlier, as much as I wanted to. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be a good way to let other people learn more about the character as well, because he seems to be the leader of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, And the equivalent on the Marvel side of Deadshot is probably Bullseye. They're very different characters, but they're at their heart they're both expert marksmen.
Yeah.
So we've done a battlecast with a villain before. We did Superman versus Doctor Doom.
That's the only one. We've never done a villain versus a villain.
Yeah. So this will be exciting. So let's learn about Bullseye. So, people may be most familiar with him from the 2003 Daredevil film, where he was played by Colin Farrell. Very campily, if that's a word.
Yeah, I know. I was like thinking about it, and I was seeing clips of it recently. It was very like he was trying to do Heath Ledger's Joker before Heath Ledger did the Joker. Just very, not that Heath Ledger's Joker was campy, but it was really like wild and like.
But Heath Ledger wasn't tongue in cheek. I think Colin Farrell was very much tongue in cheek.
You think it was?
Yeah, I think.
I don't think he was trying to be.
Because in interviews he was talking about how when you have roles like this, you just check your subtlety at the door, and just go all out crazy. So
because like Heath Ledger sort of had like the lip smacking thing, but this Colin Farrell's Bullseye character had like winking and like facial twitches. Yeah.
I'm interested if I would really like to see a version of the character in the new Daredevil Netflix show.
It was supposed to be Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Right. But
I think he'd be great at playing that character, but it'll probably be somebody else considering he was talking shit about Marvel.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the comic version of Bullseye, his real name is Lester. I don't know if they've ever released a surname, or maybe that is his surname. But so basically he's an expert marksman. It's not really stated how he learned how to become an expert marksman, but he's not a mutant or anything. It's all natural training. He killed his family. He was once a pitcher in Major League Baseball, and
What? I didn't know that.
He pitched like a no-hitter and like got bored. So at the last pitch of the game, he killed the batter.
Jeez.
And was ejected. It was like only after his first game or something like that. He became an assassin for hire, and a Daredevil bad guy. And, there's not too much to go into detail to. Villains definitely don't have as deep a backstories as heroes. The exception probably being Doctor Doom from that episode. But so Bullseye, he became a Daredevil bad guy. He's the one who killed Elektra. He's worked with the Hand. He's worked with Kingpin. At one point he joined the the Dark Avengers under Norman Osborn, and he became that team's version of Hawkeye.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Bullseye is also famous for killing Karen Page. Is that a spoiler? I don't think that's a spoiler.
Ooh.
Oh, shoot.
Don't plan on watching Daredevil Season 3.
Oh, man. I don't know if it's a spoiler. Because that was a famous arc written by Kevin Smith, who... I don't know. It was Kevin Smith's first work on Daredevil, and it was a famous storyline. And even if he did kill Karen Page in the comics, that's not to say that he would kill Karen Page in the Netflix TV show.
Yeah, they do kind of change things up a little bit.
They have changed things up a little bit. Like the way that Elektra died in the TV show was not the way that she died in the comics.
And even when like Frank Castle tied Daredevil to the roof, and that turned out different.
Right, the whole thing. Okay, so in the comics, I'll say... if you haven't read Guardian Devil by Kevin Smith, it's a really good storyline.
Might as well not now, because Joseph just spoiled it. No, actually he didn't. That's a really good storyline, and that's not even like the biggest reveal of it.
Yeah. After the whole Avengers thing, after the Dark Avengers, the Dark Reign ended, and Hawkeye got his mantle back, and Bullseye went back to being Bullseye, he terrorized Daredevil again. Daredevil beat him to a pulp and broke both of his arms and legs, and now he's a paraplegic. And that's where he is right now.
Really?
Yeah. But he'll come back.
Realize that.
Yeah. He'll train and come back.
Well, like he's had his back broken before by like Daredevil, right? And like he got an adamantium spine or something like that. Which how do you afford that? Well, I guess he could if anyone could.
Yeah. He has an adamantium, not just a spine. I think a lot of the bones in his body, they have like, it's not like Wolverine style where they're like coated. He has like strips kind of adamantium in his skeleton.
Interesting.
So, but the most interesting thing about Bullseye is not necessarily his backstory, but it's his powers and all the cool things that you've seen him do along the way. I've seen him kill some people with like a toothpick. He killed this mom with a toothpick from like across the street. I've seen him kill people with paper clips. One time, Daredevil knocked out his teeth, and he was able to like spit out his teeth, and he was able to kill a guy by spitting out his teeth. And
spitting his teeth, or like grabbing his teeth in his hand and throwing.
He's
them?
done both. I've seen him do both, where he's thrown his teeth, and I've seen him also spit his teeth.
That's
yeah. He's an expert. He, in addition to just being able to make anything a weapon that he throws, whether it's shuriken or knives or anything deadly like that, he's also a marksman with guns. He's been known to use guns from time to time. He's not like above them or anything. Mm-hmm. And when the time calls for it and he has a gun, he'll just straight up shoot somebody.
Yeah, I remember seeing like, doesn't he have like a holster on his hip or something like that?
Does he? I don't remember. I'm trying to think of his costume.
Like just the image.
I don't think so.
And the image I have of
him
like
he does.
killing Galextra, for some reason
Yeah, he has a holster on his hip. He typically carries shuriken. And he's used playing cards as well. I think he kind of opened up Elektra's throat area with a playing card.
I'm just looking at
he threw it into her neck.
I'm just looking at images of Bullseye right now, and a lot of them.
Some of them
he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a utility belt. What the heck?
It's because he doesn't need a utility belt. Anything he picks up.
I guess. Really. All right.
So that's kind of what makes him cool. And like when he was Hawkeye, he's an expert archer. He's an expert marksman with any type of weapon.
And even non-weapons.
Even non-weapons. So, in addition to that, he's just extremely sadistic.
Yeah, the guy's super twisted.
Super twisted. One of the more twisted villains, I think, out there. Certainly one of Daredevil's most twisted villains. Kills for fun. Kills for the genuine thrill of it, I think. And that is Bullseye. So tell us about Deadshot.
All right, so Deadshot's real name is Floyd Lawton. And I feel like at the beginning of like every time I go into one of my character descriptions, I'm like, well, they really have two origins. Floyd Lawton does as well. I'm
Pre-52, New 52.
Yeah, Pre-52, New 52.
Which New 52 is now going away?
No, it's not. It's complicated. Like, essentially, history was rewritten. Just kind of like, Crisis on Infinite Earths, like, all their origins were retooled.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to go with the most recent version, because I imagine they're going to go with something similar for the movie.
Okay.
So Floyd Lawton is sort of like the anti-Batman, whereas Bruce Wayne was, rich. Floyd Lawton's family was really poor.
Mm-hmm.
They lived in an apartment, and when he was a young boy, his father came home to tell his mother, his wife, that he had gotten a job, and both Floyd Lawton's parents were randomly killed because the next door neighbors got into a gunfight, and so
that's messed up.
Yeah, so he actually killed his sister too. I think killed like his whole family. But his dad had a gun, and so like when all this was going on, he went in to get his dad's gun, and like he just started using it then, or like he like vowed to like sort of learn how to use it to like protect himself and punish people in a way.
So he's the Punisher.
No, because he was a kid when this happened. So but eventually, like he became really skilled at marksmanship and became an assassin for hire. He has an ex-wife and a son who was killed in the comics. I think that was pre-New 52, though. I think now he has a daughter. At least he does. One of the most interesting takes on like the story of Deadshot, I think, actually came from the Arrow TV show, which, honestly, I don't know if... Anyway, he has a daughter in that, and I'm pretty sure he has a daughter in the upcoming movie. Anyway, he's like a family man who's kind of separates himself from his family, either because like they're dead or because he's aware of what kind of choices he's made in life and his character, and how he's kind of chosen to become like this murderer, essentially, this assassin. So he keeps his distance. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised like if they killed his family, and that's sort of his motivation for being a bad guy in the film. Anyway, he became this like the best marksman in the world, like the guy you definitely hire if you want a job done correctly with like as minimal casualties with like one shot. This is the guy you hire. In the comics, like he had a mission in Gotham, and the first time he ever missed a shot was because Batman knocked the rifle out of the way, and so he's kind of had a grudge against Batman ever since because he never misses.
Is he a Batman villain?
Yeah, you could consider him a Batman villain for sure. He started off in Batman comics, so.
No, is he a villain or is he an anti-hero? Is he like the Punisher, or is he more amoral than the Punisher?
He's not. He would not consider himself a hero. He's not like the Punisher. He's a mercenary, and he takes out the people he kills. They don't have to be bad guys. You know, he doesn't really care about who dies. He just cares about being super efficient, and his personality is also interesting in that like he doesn't really care if he dies in the process. It's like it's one of the reasons like he was like a great candidate for the Suicide Squad. It's because he, again, just going to the fact that like he knows that he's like a bad guy, so he sort of has like this like death wish in a way. He's a very interesting character. Like he doesn't, as long as the mission gets accomplished, like he doesn't care if he dies. So like he's willing to do anything to get the job done. And he's also you know a trained and good fighter. He's fought in Deathstroke before he's been able to hold his hand against Deathstroke, and Deathstroke's like has gone up against Batman. You know. And of course he as well has gone up against Batman. He's also like you know tactfully and you know he's intelligent, not only like in terms of like tactics and strategy, because he was the leader of the Suicide Squad and he's like made some really smart choices to get the mission done there, but like also like engineering wise, he has these wrist mounted like guns that he engineered, and so like he never has to like draw a weapon. He's almost like Wolverine in the sense, but instead of having knives, he has guns. So
it's more than one gun. Like 3 guns pop out of his wrist.
He has 2 guns.
One on each wrist.
One on each wrist.
Okay,
but he's never without a weapon. He always has a weapon. He's a master of using pretty much any type of firearm. And he never misses. It's always one-shot kills.
And how is this fight going to go? Somebody's going to have to miss, right? Either this is going to be the shortest fight ever.
Well, let me tell you how this fight is going to go.
Okay.
Since Bullseye has no weapons on him, and Bullseye always has weapons on him.
Wait, you just said Bullseye has
Gosh
no...
dang it. I keep doing that for some reason. Since Bullseye has no weapons on him, and Deadshot always has weapons on him.
Bullseye does have weapons on him.
What?
I mean, he doesn't always, but he can. You can't. You shouldn't assume that he does not have any weapons on him at this point.
I guess that's true. He's Bullseye. But, like, all the pictures I'm looking at, he doesn't have any weapons on him. Like, he's holding playing cards. He's going to walk into a match holding playing cards.
That's all he needs.
I guess. But, see, the thing is that Bullseye also has... Deadshot also has armor. He has, like, metal armor, like a mask and, you know, stuff like that. So...
And Bullseye has an adamantium skeleton.
So he doesn't have an adamantium skull, which a bullet will go through. You know, I don't know if a playing card is going to go through Deadshot's armor.
That's true. We do know that at least his legs and arms can be broken because that's what Daredevil did. So,
right.
The adamantium skeleton doesn't protect against that. I don't know what it would protect against, honestly.
And even in terms of like Ricochet and stuff like that, Deadshot is a master. So it's not like Bullseye can hide from... Yeah, Bullseye. I thought I messed up again. It's not like Bullseye can hide from him, you know.
Here's the thing. I think for as good as Deadshot is, I think Bullseye could win because the fact that he can turn anything into a weapon. gives him the edge. He doesn't use just guns. He can use anything.
I guess, but I mean, what if there's nothing around?
Where are we assuming this fight takes place?
We can't assume anything, right? That's like one of our rules of the Battlecast is the environment is no environment in a way.
Right. Okay, so
because we can't make any kind of like environmental advantage. Like we made assumptions for the Namor versus Aquaman one
that it was underwater.
But like we haven't done that for any of the others.
Yeah, I think we always assume it's kind of like a empty, vast danger room type scenario, like empty danger room kind of thing.
Sure, but even that is dangerous.
Yeah, but there's very few environmental factors.
Well, here's the thing though, because like environment really doesn't play into our stats at all, and the stats that we record, like in the Marvel power grid,
right.
Like environment is never a factor, so it's not something we take into account.
Right. I'm going to assume that for this battle, Deadpool has at least...
Deadpool.
Jeez. Bullseye. Wow. Where did that come from?
That was way off.
Bullseye has at least like a toothpick in his mouth or something like that.
That's fair.
You have to assume he at least has something. Anything ranging from a toothpick in his mouth to a flat-out gun in his holster.
And you know what Deadshot could do? Just shoot that toothpick right into his face. I was going to say out of his mouth, but into his face.
Or he could shoot it out of the air.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then what?
And then...
And then he dies. Bullseye dies.
Well, Bullseye is also an expert-level gymnast.
Oh, gosh.
He is.
But Bullseye... Deadshot doesn't miss. Deadshot has shot... Okay, so just for an example, like Enchantress is... she's in the new movie, but she was also on the Suicide Squad. In the comics, you know, she was flying and being crazy... And so he was ordered to take her down non-lethally. So as she was like flying around, Deadshot shoots to purposely graze her and like knock her out from the graze. So, I mean, it's not like...
But he has also been knocked off his aim.
True.
And Bullseye has the ability to knock him off his aim from a distance. Not just kill him, but knock him off his aim so that he can't be shot.
The only thing I think only advantage Bullseye has going into this is the advantage of surprise. If he's carrying a toothpick, Deadshot won't necessarily know shut up, to shoot that toothpick out of his mouth because he won't see it as a threat.
Right.
That's the only thing.
How good is Deadshot at dodging? Because Bullseye is very good at dodging. Because Daredevil's a marksman too.
Right.
And he dodges his billy clubs.
I don't know. Honestly, I probably wouldn't say he's as good as Bullseye, but he's not terrible either. I mean, he has more than just bullets in those gauntlets of his. He has like grappling hooks and stuff like that. So if he needs to get out of the way,
so he's like Black Widow.
If he needs to escape, yeah, in a way, yeah. Except instead of shooting like electric lasers or whatever she does, he shoots bullets in faces.
All right, should we put the stats in?
Yeah, let's do the stats.
All right, let's do it.
Whoa, look out.
There's pieces of metal flying around from the fight. I don't know. Anyway, so so we ran the stats. There were a few things that we didn't mention, such as that we found out when we were entering the stats. Things we didn't mention, such as Deadshot's eyepiece,
yeah,
which can has like thermal vision or something like that.
Yeah, it has. I mean, whatever suits the story at the time. Yeah, but yeah, so
Bullseye can't hide, basically.
Bullseye can't hide for sure.
Okay. There was something else that maybe I thought of, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway, we did run the stats.
Bullseye could clog Deadshot's.
Yeah, I was thinking, what if Bullseye instead he threw something into Deadshot's gauntlets,
which he's capable of doing.
Which he's capable of doing for sure.
But
which would effectively disarm him.
But Deadshot has two of them, and he doesn't only just have gauntlets. He's always strapping.
He always had
something in his
pieces.
boot. Something, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, the results are back, and are you ready to hear them?
Yep. This is okay.
This one-
So this one, I just want to say, like, before I hear what the results were, like, when we talked about doing this specific match, I was like, ugh, Bullseye is like crazy, just crazy in terms of like his personality and in terms of like what he's capable of doing with like even a toothpick or
very
a paperclip.
unpredictable.
Very unpredictable. I totally saw this going Bullseye's way. But as I was talking and researching and compiling the stats for Deadshot, I'm pretty sure that this came out closer than I think.
Well, they kind of went tit for tat in terms of stats. Like, Deadshot is a little bit smarter. Bullseye was like more agile. So there's a lot of different ways where like each one is better than the other. But in the end, it did come out fairly close. It was almost dead even, which I wasn't expecting either. And Deadshot won 521 of the matches.
Yeah. Holy cow, that
compared
is
to
close.
Bullseye's 479 wins.
Holy cow, that is... What was Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate? Because that was our closest one, right?
Yeah.
I forget what that one was.
I think
that
one
was
was
like
closer. It was like
51.
51 or something. So
right, yeah.
This one isn't quite as close, but essentially,
Wow.
it's dead even. And when you have a result that's this close, I bet you if we were to run the stats again, you might get a different result because it's so close to 50-50.
Yeah.
But we don't do it twice, so in this case, in this instance,
Good.
Deadshot wins.
Nice.
So I think that makes your fourth win out of all these episodes.
That's right. I'm in the lead now.
Yeah, so DC is ahead 4-3. But that will likely change. Because I'm gonna mess with the stats.
You don't know.
Does that do it for this episode? What do you think was the biggest deciding factor in Deadshot's win?
Probably his armor. His armor for sure. I mean, if Bullseye,
He has a metal mask and
yeah,
like a.
I mean,
metal
the only thing that Bullseye would probably penetrate would be his like eyepiece. I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that would be detrimental.
That would be extremely detrimental.
Well, he has his other eye.
He has his other eye. That's the thing.
But he loses depth
like
perception.
There's been instances where Deadshot's been able to pinpoint things with his eyes closed. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for this episode. If you have any comments or questions or anything about that fight, go ahead and reach out to us at dcmarvelbattlecast@gmail.com or give us a shout out on Twitter at dcmarvelbattle.
Yep.
Don't forget you can listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud,
YouTube.
we're on Stitcher, we're on YouTube, we're on other different places. Just Google DC Marvel Battlecast.
Yeah, our RSS feed actually gets picked up by a lot of different like podcasting channels. So chances are, if like you prefer a specific one, we're probably on it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Let us know if we're not.
Yeah, let us know if we're not. All right, next episode will all be about Comic-Con. So I'm
for
excited.
reals this time. For realsies.
Yeah, should get a lot of great movie news for both DC and Marvel, and should be fun.
Yep.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you then.
Super excited for it.
Yep.
So without further ado, up and away.
True believers.